In this week's Parsha, we read about the incredible brachos of the Kohanim. And the Kohanim conclude, when they bless the Jewish people, they conclude their blessing by saying, Yisa Hashem panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bestow His favor upon you and let Him grant you peace. This idea of a blessing of peace is critical. As a matter of fact, we say this blessing right before Sim Shalom, the blessing for peace. And the Kohanim are only able to duchen, they're only able to give us the blessing of peace if they themselves have peace with all of us in the community. It's vital, this aspect of peace. And we see this theme of peace emerge another place in the Parsha. We know what the sota is when a woman is accused of going astray. She drinks a special water mixture to determine if she had been faithful or not. And the way that this water is made up is actually by erasing God's name into the water that she drinks. And the Medrash tells us, according to Rabbi Shmuel, that so significant is peace that God Himself is willing to have His own name erased for the sake of potentially restoring the peace between a husband and his wife. Because once she drinks this, and if in fact she had been loyal, nothing will happen to her. And then that peace can be restored. So we see this idea of shalom, of peace, taking a vital role in this week's Parsha. The Mishnah tells us in Uktzin that so important is peace, according to Rabbi Shimon ben Chalafta, that Hashem cannot find any greater utensil to contain blessing for our people other than peace. That peace, so to speak, is the container through which blessing to us can flow. The question is, how exactly can we obtain peace? What can we do to seek peace with our friends and our family and people perhaps that we don't get along with? There's a number of potential options for how to pursue peace. One of which, I believe, is an amazing idea I heard quoted from the Chofetz Chaim. He writes in one of his books that people have a custom often to take meiser, to take 10% of their money and to give it to charity. But the Chofetz Chaim suggests also to set aside money. Actually have a separate, you get your paycheck, put some money aside every month for your peace fund. And that way, if there's some kind of issue that comes up, some sort of monetary dispute, you have this money already set aside for the sake of peace. It's probably going to be worth it. And then finally, another interesting approach for how we can obtain peace is to realize that so often what we fight about is just utter nonsense. And I'll give you an example. I was reading to my daughter Tzipi last night a book called Kids Speak number 9. Amazing books. I think we sell them at the Jewish Experience. If you want to come buy some. Amazing story. There's a family of children, I think there were 4 of them, and they always fought. All the time they fought. Why do you get this and I get this and my thing is better than yours, etc. So eventually the mother has a baby and the kids come to the hospital to meet their baby sister. And they come and they see the baby and immediately the first kid says, "Oh my God, the baby, it's beautiful, it looks just like me." The second child comes and says, No. The nose is exactly like mine. It doesn't look anything like you. The third child says, "I don't know what you guys are talking about. The baby's like identical to me." And they literally start fighting about this. So the parents were trying to teach the children a lesson that you don't always need to fight. 5 minutes after their blood is boiling, they're getting upset, really mad at each other. The woman's roommate, who was across the curtain, came to the room, said, "Thank you, Mrs. so much for holding my baby and watching my baby for me. Thank you." And then she gave her back the baby. In one instant, the children realized how foolish it was what they were fighting about. The baby was not their baby. It didn't look like any of them. It wasn't theirs. So many times we fight just for the sake of fighting. And if only we had one little piece of information, we would quickly realize how foolish it is that we're getting worked up about this. Hopefully we can hear the bracha of the Kohanim. We can hear the blessing of the Kohen for peace. Nationally as a people, please God, and individually in our communities. We should all have peace with each other, with our friends, with our family, with our neighbors. Please God, it should be a beautiful Shabbos, a beautiful week of peace. Good Shabbos.